All right, let's get this straight. You've just opened Instagram for a quick scroll right before bed, promising yourself just 3 minutes. But suddenly, it's 3 hours later, you've watched every cat video known to humanity, and you still haven't started that report that's due tomorrow morning. Sound familiar? Congratulations. You've accidentally discovered the greatest mind heist of the 21st century. Because the digital age isn't just changing how we live, it's weaponizing your own brain chemistry to make you scroll endlessly and procrastinate like a pro magician who's vanished all your productivity. Welcome to the science of motivation in the digital age, where your attention is the currency and apps are the sticky-fingered pickpockets plotting to steal it. Now forget everything you thought you knew about motivation being just about willpower or hustle culture. That's like trying to put out a forest fire with a teacup. The real deal involves dopamine, that sneaky little neurotransmitter that makes you crave likes like a squirrel hoards nuts, and it's running a high-stakes casino on your phone screen. So here's the deal. Motivation isn't some mystical force. It's a biological cocktail party happening inside your skull, and the digital age is crashing it with a wrecking ball. Picture this. Every time your phone buzzes with a notification, your brain releases a tiny splash of dopamine. It's like getting a mini slot machine win every time. But here's the twist. Social media companies aren't giving you dopamine. They're giving you dopamine roulette. Sometimes you get a hilarious comment, sometimes it's just an ad for pet insurance, and sometimes nothing happens at all. That unpredictability? It's scientifically designed to keep you hooked tighter than a swarm of bees to a honeypot. Because variable rewards are the crack cocaine of psychology. Once you've tried that unpredictable dopamine hit, your brain starts screaming, "One more scroll?" Even when your soul is weeping, "I have work to do." Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, that brilliant part of your brain handling your to-do list, gets drowned out by the amygdala, your primitive OMG alert must click now center, turning you into a digital moth flying straight into the app flame. Now, let's talk about the dopamine double whammy. See, our brains evolved in a world where rewards took effort. A hunt, a harvest, a handshake. But now, you can get a dopamine rush for swiping left or hitting like, which requires about as much effort as blinking. This means your brain starts lowering the bar for what feels rewarding. Suddenly, studying for an hour feels as appealing as watching paint dry because your dopamine threshold has been inflated by 500 cat videos and 200 memes. It's like you've been training your fitness muscles with candy canes instead of weights. No wonder your motivation feels as flimsy as a wet paper towel. This is why checking your phone at work is like pulling an all-you-can-eat break in the middle of a productivity marathon. Your brain goes, why hunt for a goal when the cliff of infinite distraction is just a tap away? And suddenly you're doom scrolling through vacation photos instead of strategizing your next big idea. Fear not, because understanding this science isn't just about feeling enlightened. It's about reclaiming your brain from the digital pickpockets. Let's start with the environment hacks, because your space setup is the silent puppet master of your focus. Imagine trying to write a novel in a room where a clown is honking a trumpet every 30 seconds. Absurd, right? Yet that's the digital equivalent of leaving notifications on. Solution: turn your phone grayscale. Yep, you heard me. By stripping away the colorful, dopamine-rich visuals, you're essentially telling your brain this ain't worth the hype, and suddenly that urge to check Instagram weakens like a deflated balloon. It's like serving broccoli instead of cake for dinner. Your brain might grumble, but it gets the message. Next, create focus cocoons where Wi-Fi is optional and distractions are locked in a digital vault. Think of it as building a fortress around your attention, complete with moats of silence and drawbridges that drop only during scheduled breaks. Now, let's tackle the dopamine system head-on. Since the digital age is flooding your brain with cheap dopamine hits, you need to upgrade the quality of your rewards to match the effort. Enter the magic of intrinsic motivation. The kind that makes you chase goals not for the gold star, but because it lights you up from the inside. Picture two runners, one training because their dad paid them $100, the other running because they love the feeling of the wind in their hair. Who's more likely to stick with it? The guy chasing the dopamine from the passion, not the pocket change. So dial in why behind your tasks. Instead of, I must finish this report, try, I want to finish this report so I can finally learn that guitar solo I've been obsessed with. Suddenly, the chore morphs into a step toward joy, a dopamine upgrade from cheap snack to a gourmet meal. And here's a pro tip. Track your wins with a dopamine journal. Write down every small victory, I resisted my phone for 2 whole hours, or I finished that chapter I dreaded, and read it before bed. This retrains your brain to value real achievements over digital junk food. Next up, let's outsmart the distraction loop with chunking and timing. Your brain hates big, gloomy tasks looming like a storm cloud. It thrives on bite-sized victories that make you go, heck yeah. Enter the Pomodoro technique, but not just the plain vanilla version. Think of it as interval training for your brain. 25 minutes of hyper-focused work, where you treat it like a Mission Impossible scene. You're Ethan Hunt, your phone is the ticking bomb, and you must defuse it by ignoring it. Then, a 5-minute break where you can check your phone but set a timer. It's like letting a tiny toddler out of a playpen for a controlled stretch. They burn off energy without burning down the house. Repeat this 4 times and you've just completed a marathon of productivity disguised as a fun relay race. And to make it stick, gamify your goals. Need to read a boring textbook? Turn it into a RPG where each page is a boss battle with health points that decrease for every comma you read. Monopoly-opoly, anyone? Okay, maybe not. But the idea is to wrap the drudgery in a layer of fun, because your brain will sprint toward a finish line it can see, not a vague land of eventual. But wait, what about those days when the motivation molasses kicks in and you feel glued to the couch? Cue commitment devices, the secret sauce for when your future self tries to sabotage present you. They're like pre-made superhero costumes for your discipline. For example, use an app that blocks social media during work hours and sends your browsing history to your accountability buddy if you fail. It's basically your brain's bodyguard, ensuring you can't weasel out of your commitments. Or even simpler, schedule your tasks by time slot instead of vague to-dos. Instead of clean garage, write Tuesday 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. garage purging. This transforms abstract chores into concrete appointments with yourself, like a meeting with the CEO of your own life. And here's a sneaky one. Tie your desired habit to an existing one using habit stacking. After I brew my morning coffee, I will write for 15 minutes. Coffee equals productivity trigger. It's like Pavlov's dogs, but with less slobber and more spreadsheets. Now let's talk about the research underpinning all this. Behavioral economists like Dan Ariely found that we procrastinate not because we're lazy, but because we're wired to value immediate rewards over future ones. Your brain says $10 now is worth more than $20 next month. Classic temporal discounting. So to beat this, make your future rewards immediate and visible. Create a vision board of what completing a task unlocks, whether it's a trip, a skill, or peace of mind. Tape it to your monitor so it's not a distant dream, but an in-your-face spotlight. Meanwhile, Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, shows us that focus isn't a gift. It's a muscle you build by resisting the digital stimuli that constantly try to shred it. His research? The key isn't willpower, it's shielding your environment so distractions can't bully your focus. And let's not forget the Zeigarnik effect, that weird phenomenon where uncompleted tasks haunt your brain more than finished ones. So, when you start a task, you create mental itch that only finishing can scratch. Use this to your advantage. Dive into a task just enough to get 10% done, then step away. Your brain will nag you to return, like a loyal but annoying puppy. Now, let's recap the superpowers you've gained. First, you can weaponize your dopamine by upgrading rewards from cheap thrills to meaningful wins. Second, you can design your environment to be a fortress of focus, turning distractions into tiny enemies you defeat one by one. Third, you can hack timing with chunking and gamify tasks to turn drudgery into fun. Fourth, you can outsmart your future self with commitment devices and make habits stick with stacking. And finally, you can leverage research-backed insights like temporal discounting and the Zeigarnik effect to keep motivation flowing like a well-oiled machine. So here's the ultimate takeaway. The digital age might have turned motivation into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, but you're not the mouse. You're the clever inventor who builds better traps, upgrades your tools, and learns the cheat codes. By understanding that motivation isn't magic, it's a dance between your brain's wiring and your environment choices, you stop blaming yourself and start architecting systems that support your drive. The science isn't here to scare you, it's here to empower you. You can choose whether to let dopamine run amok or harness it like a jetpack for your goals. All right, now that you're armed with these strategies, go forth and conquer that to-do list like a productivity ninja on steroids. But don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Drop your favorite digital distraction taming trick in the comments below. because EXQ thrives on your genius ideas. And if you loved learning how to turn motivation into your secret weapon, hit subscribe for more EXQ content that's faster than a meme scroll, funnier than a cat video, and smarter than your phone's synthetic assistant. We're here making ridiculously simple, surprisingly hilarious insights at the speed of laughter, so join the revolution and click that notification bell. Now go slay your day, and remember, stop scrolling, start soaring.